Hey everybody, Texas Stroker Airlines, this Performance Shop Lone Star Mopars.com. It is, what is it, Friday, Saturday? Friday, December 31st, 2021. It is New Year's Eve. You probably won't see this close to New Year's Eve, but I hope you're having yourself a fantastic time. Hope your 2022 starts off great. Most importantly, whenever you see this, it'll be a Saturday, so I hope you have yourself a fantastic weekend. Now, that said, my phone's about dead, so you might not be hearing the people trying to drag me out of here to quote-unquote go have some fun, but hey, they don't know what they're missing over here. So what we've got going on is kind of a big deal, and a little trip down memory lane and a step forward with some sad reminiscing involved. So a little bit of something for everyone. Now, what we've got here is some Craftsman stuff. And what we have here is some crud that I just made a video on a couple nights ago. It's Capri semi-deep impacts. It goes from 5/16 to 1 inch. 3/8. 5/16 to 1 inch. Why is that important? Why would I interject that? Well, when thinking about what I would like to see for an ideal 3/8 drive socket set, I want to see that 5/16 become quarter. I'd like to see quarter be my start point. I know what you're thinking, like, hey, use quarter drive, you're fine. Well, I agree, but just ideally, I think quarter is a nice cutoff point for your small end, right? Quarter, 5/16, 3/8 were equal to our drive size. Now, could we stop at 5/8? Could we stop at 3/4? Will we get the bonus and stop at 7/8? Yeah, that makes sense. I think 7/8 or 3/4, preferably 7/8, is like a fair stopping point, right? But the Capri, they did something really cool. They did 15/16 and 1 inch. If you're like me, 15/16, you're using 5/8 hardware, kind of a big deal. And so what I have done is we are upgrading, kind of unexpectedly, our 3/8 drive chrome sockets. And that's why the Craftsman's here. For the longest time, if you ever sit back and you're like, good lord, KC Tool Haul number 70 something, this guy's crazy. What's going on? Does he do one tool per video or something? Here's the deal. You're kind of on the journey with me. I started and decided to, make the videos around the point where it's like, hey, maybe, single, don't smoke, don't drink. What do you do with his money? They're just going to take it from you. So I like old cars, I like fast modern Mopars, and I like tools to work on said cars. So you've been along for the ride, right? Something you may not know, and for everyone from the German side of the channel, don't worry, or the Japanese stuff that we've been doing more of, fear not, still have plenty of plans there. This was something that I just couldn't really say no to. So before we jump forward, let's take some steps back. For the longest time, and up until right now, because these are still sealed, these were my 3/8 drive. Okay, SAE, me, the old Mopar guy, so I don't care about the metric, I need the SAE stuff, right? This is what I had. This is no exaggeration. I don't know that I'll have toolbox tours up anytime soon. I'm not sure how these will be released. I'm finally advancing myself, getting ahead of the game again. But this is what came in my Craftsman Rally box set that was like given to me when I was like 12 to 14-ish, right? So this is my 3/8 drive ratchet. It's one that I've set on fire accidentally. That's how we learn about, bulkheads and uninsulated wires that should be insulated. And it was my go-to 3/8 drive ratchet. Listen to it. Yeah, we've upgraded a little bit since then, haven't we? Stahlwille and Matco sitting over here in the wings. But this is it. This is legitimately the 3/8 drive sockets I had. Now, what Sears did was kind of bizarre. You got, like, this is 3/8 and this is 3/8, and if you note, there's shallow, there's 6-point and there's 12-point. And then you've got your 7/16, you got your half, you got your 9/16, you got your 2 5/8, you get in the picture here, you got 2 11/16, you got 2 3/4, and then you get a 7/8. Okay. Was there another 7/8 that wouldn't fit on the rail? I'm not exactly sure. But it's not like I have, like from smaller, like 3/16 to 1 1/4 or something here. They just duped them. They doubled them up, which is kind of cool because you got 6-point and you got 12-point. But this is what I had. And if you think like, whoa, that thing didn't come with deep sockets, it did. Here's some. This is the biggest socket it came with. That's probably one of the most used, the 9/16. And then right here, the smallest one, which is again 3/8. Now, the catch with these deep sockets, I think there are maybe like 6 or 7 of them. They are all 12-point. Your eyes don't deceive you. Like every single deep chrome socket that I had was 12-point, which is kind of crazy. But again, that's kind of the old school logic. This is like when I hang out with the dudes that machine parts for 1920 Hutmobiles and stuff. Like, it was 12-point. That's kind of where I cut my teeth. And, you know, at work, on the lathe, it's like, well, the 12-point's awesome. It grabs square stock. You know, 6-point can't do that. And so a lot of things have changed, you know, even since like the mid-90s, late 90s, stuff in there. And this is legitimately, though, what I have. And some people, you know, that's laughable. We do have like the 3/8, you know, we've got some stuff, nothing like super fancy, but like the little Vera set when it was tool of the day, which is like what, 6 or 7 sockets again. Those are made in Taiwan, by the way. People constantly say those are the Czech Republic. They are not. They're made in Taiwan, like the VHA ones that we brought in. The cool thing here, this is old enough, coming from the 90s. This Craftsman stuff was USA made, Western Forge up in Colorado, right? And I was always kind of divided on what to do. I always plan it out in my head, and it's like, well, you know, do I want to go with, you know, Stahlwille, Ghidorah? What would we do, you know? And then it's like, we've got quite a few 3/8 drive Koken sockets recently. And, you know, we'll deal with that in the future, kind of let you know what's going on there. But I always wanted to keep things American. And I'm not a huge fan of tool trucks. My experience with Matco on the 5K haul, you've seen it, not the greatest experience in the world. Snap-on's crazy expensive. Mac, I love proto. I love old proto stuff, you know, but I don't have experience with the new stuff. And so coming in, you know, we brought in things like this. I didn't have any, you know, universal joint sockets. And so these SKs, even though they're kind of weird, they were absolutely a steal on a Steals and Deals before they were sold from Ideal to a Chinese company, right? So, Harry J. Epstein, whatever you want to call him, we'll just go with HJE, right? And I've bought from them in the past. You've seen some tool hauls. They had a ton of SK stuff come in. You know, they buy out typically, you know, like places going out of business, things along those lines. They're also, you know, a brand new vendor for several brands. SK was included. And they got a big haul of SK stuff. And they said, hey, this is it. Come get it while you can. They're supposedly moving the factory, you know, going to reopen it and everything, but we don't know what it's going to be. Could it be better? Could it be great? Could it be improved? Absolutely. But it will never be what it once was, whether what it once was is inferior or superior. So, when I was perusing the site, we're going to have several hauls from this. I'm trying to decide how exactly to break them down. But what I did is shell out $172.69. Because I thought, you know what, that's what we're going to do. I like dark horses, I like underdogs, I've always viewed SK that way. I love old SK stuff, just like I love old proto stuff, all right? The LP90 has been a fantastic ratchet. It's probably my favorite bare handle ratchet, in fact. The thing is, that's all I had was that Craftsman stuff, right? And it was a mix of 6 and 12. Everything deep was 12. Well, this is what we did for our, let's see, 172.69. I got ourselves a 20-piece set of SK socketry. So these are all, every single one of them going to be 6-point. So these now officially become my only 3/8 drive 6-point SAE Imperial Fractional, whatever you want to call them, sockets. Crazy, right? I know. And then right here, these are a big deal as well because of the sizes that we've got. Now, I have withheld. I've wanted to use these and break them in, and I said, no, I can't. I want to keep these sealed, and that's what I have done. We've got the battery light flashing. I don't know how long I'm going to have here before this cuts off, and then I awkwardly have to resume from some point in time in the future. And boy, oh boy, am I excited about this. So, There we are. Again, SK, Super Chrome, whatever you want to call it. These look at initial distance glance to be finished out way better than those universals I had, which makes sense. They're a little bit more simplistic of a socket. But what we've got, essentially, let me try and spin it. This is the one thing I don't like about the SKs. They're absurdly difficult to see the sizes. We start at 5/16, okay? Just like we did with our Capri set. And then we end all the way up at 7/8. So in my opinion, it's a pretty nice spread. It's respectable. Would I love the quarter to be here? Yes. Would I love to see 15/16 and 1 inch? Yeah. How often would I turn something 15/16 or 1.25 or bigger with 3/8 drive? Not often. It would have to be a special deal where the sidewall of, a 1/2 inch drive socket doesn't fit and the 3/8 drive does. But it would be cool. But for now, we're up to 7/8, and that's fine. We might supplement this if they would have had, 3/8 quarter drives available solo. Spoiler alert, we would have done it. Same thing, bushing up a size. Spoiler alert, we may have done that. Is it SK? I don't know. We're going to have to stick around and find out. I do believe SK had those back in the day. I'm not 100% sure. My biggest complaint with SK really was their lack of expansion. I love the X-frame. It's a fantastic ratcheting wrench. It stops. I need bigger sizes. Their flex zone impacts, super impressive, but it's a 1/2 inch drive impact. We don't need to stop at 3/4. We need to keep going, right? Even your chrome socket set goes longer, So these are the shallows. Again, 5/16 all the way up to 7/8. We're just going to grab the 7/8 here. Again, you know me. Do I genuinely prefer the Stahlwille, Gedor, Hazet, the matte chrome of the German sockets? I actually do. But when you're going to do chrome, you need to do chrome well. And that's one of the things well-executed SK tools do. So there she blows, the 7/8 shallow. Immaculate finish out on that one. These are, there's a lot of things we could say about these, and in fact we did in that video. But, the exterior chrome pretty solid, and here we've got a freaking nice socket. So at 172, let's just call that 170, right? You're about $85 per rail. 85 shallow, 85 deep. I know it wouldn't work out that way because there's more material, but just bear with me. At 85 a rail for 10 sockets, that's $8.50. That's a very reasonable price, in my opinion, especially for something that's going away. And I'm a big fan, again, of the Darkhorse, of the Underdog. Obviously, I'm into Mopars, so that might start making sense to you. SK to me was always that sort of like, hey, this is just as good, if not better, and you have it for a better price. It's made in America. Lots and lots of good things to say, and I pulled the trigger. So pairing that with our LP90, this is going to be a really nice combination. Check that out. Super nice. Again, goes against what I truly prefer, which is like the matte chrome and everything. But when you're going to do bare handle, when you're going to do chrome, you got to do it right. And that's something that we've got. So this is a big step up in terms of just having the 6-point, having a more comprehensive set. To give you, the point driven home, this is my 3/4 Craftsman. We'll compare it to the 7/8 SK. Obviously, this has been used for, since I got it in the 90s. That's why the chrome isn't quite, as comparable. Still pretty solid. This is a great socket. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's the best, but I'm going to tell you these do not suck. These are just fine. The number of things and the number of projects and repairs I've done with these, fantastic. I have zero complaints. And the fact that now I have 6-point to go along with 12-point, just better. So this was kind of a deal. It was just, man, those are going away. We don't know what the future holds. It's a great price. I think this was the last set, by the way. They have the little stock quantity. There was one left. I believe this is it. So I'll try to link it if it's available. And very well. Great Star, I think, is who bought it. Can't remember now. Pretty sure. But, you know, they could come in and they could like improve SK. They can keep everything here. They can ratchet up the marketing. Maybe they'll introduce cheaper stuff from China. But if they say, hey, SK, we bought the name, we're been on it. We're going to make this compete with the tool trucks. We're going to deliver what people came to know and love and improve upon it. That's what I want to see happen. Will it? I don't know. Only the future will tell us. But I know what this is because it's what it was. And that's why it's special to me. So real quick here, again, the battery light is flashing. We'll take our Stahlwille, possibly my favorite 3/8 drive padded handle. Oh, yeah. Nice stuff there. Since we've got it and we're going Americana here, we're going to grab the Matco, which is a fine deal aside from this not. Hey, it worked. It worked twice. And she's stuck again. Okay, cool. But there we go. I mean, there's some contrast for you. And I'm happy. I think this was a good choice. It's definitely not something a lot of people would suspect. But again, something you don't know a lot about me. I'm partial to old stuff. Again, at work, Proto, SK, Armstrong, Wright, Bonnie. Tons of that stuff around. It's still around. And if it's still around, that means it doesn't suck. That means it was good. That's why I like it. I have an affinity for it. These right here, I could wind up loving these even though they're not chamfered. I don't know that yet. If in 20 years I sit there and I think, man, I bought those things in like, you know, 2021, the crazy times, and here they are still ticking. I'll have an affinity for Capri. But right now, I have a soft spot for SK, even though a lot of their stuff, they do some weird stuff. Their shipping is weird. And there's a lot of questionable things. You got to remember, it wasn't SK that sold itself out. It was Ideal. And improvements can definitely be made there. But the bottom line is, it doesn't matter with these because these are old school SK. Eventually, these will be nostalgic, vintage even. I guess you could call them that now. It's the last of a dying breed. There's no more of these. You can probably find some here and there if you really look, but I'm super stoked to have them. They do a really good job of expanding my basic, you know, standard socket sets. As you can see, that rail looks like really comprehensive until you realize it's 2 of everything up to 3/4. So we've done some cool stuff here. I think we've gone a little smaller. We've gone a little bigger. I'd like to expand it out. Maybe we do that. Maybe I've already done it. You'll have to stay tuned. But since this is flashing, I want to wrap this up. LoneStarMopars.com is the website. You can find us Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all 3 at Lone Star Mopars. If you subscribe and ring the bell, YouTube just might notify you that we've got new videos out every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Texas time. If you have experience with these SK sockets, whether it's way back in the day, whether it's recent, leave your comments down below. If you've got a soft spot or an affinity for the Darkhorse and the Underdog, whether you've got great things to say about recent SK, terrible things, leave your thoughts down below. It is much appreciated for anyone interested in these. Again, sadly, this is a done deal. This is a dying breed. This is going to be one of the last new sets, new old stock, if you even want to go that far. So moving forward, they could very well crank this stuff out. I believe they're moving production to Chicago. It could be the exact same thing. It could be upgraded. They could change alloys and it could be great, superior. The chrome could get even better, deeper luster. It could be total junk. We don't know. This is a known thing. And again, just initial inspection here, these look really, really well done. So I'll leave it at that. The LP90 helped seal this decision. Having these helped seal the decision. That way our 3/8 stuff, we're kind of tied in with SK. And like I said, just the fact that these would go away and might never come back the same, might come back worse. I could be an idiot. They could introduce a superior product that costs $150 brand new from SK's website in 2 months. I just don't know. But this was a definitive. It was on sale, and I feel like we've got ourselves a little piece of history. Most importantly, a socket set that should serve me well for a very, very long time. So I'll quit rambling and reminiscing. My cell phone's about dead. The camera battery's about dead. I guess I'm going to have to go in and charge stuff. Wanted to stay out here. I don't care what they're doing in New York. Makes no difference to me if a ball drops. But the sockets are going on out here. This is where the real action is. So again, Happy New Year. I hope you have yourself a fantastic weekend. I will catch you back here for more action from the shop.